Repairing damaged clothing not only saves money but also helps reduce waste and prolongs the lifespan of your favorite garments. With a few basic sewing skills and some simple techniques, you can easily mend common clothing problems and keep your wardrobe looking its best. Start by assessing the damage. Carefully inspect the damaged clothing to identify the problem areas. Common issues include torn seams, holes, missing buttons, loose threads, and frayed edges. Next, make sure you have your basic sewing supplies. This includes a needle and thread in matching colors, fabric scissors, sewing pins, an iron or ironing board, replacement buttons, and fabric patches or fusible interfacing. Before diving into repairs, familiarize yourself with basic sewing techniques such as a running stitch for basic seams, a back stitch for extra strength, a blind stitch for ideal hemming and invisible repairs, and button sewing. To sew on a button, thread a needle with doubled thread and a knot at the end and stitch up through the fabric and one buttonhole at a time. Repeat this until the 4 holes are straight across or in an X pattern. Finish by wrapping the thread a few times around the stitches under the button and then knot off underneath. For a clean rip, use a whip stitch or ladder stitch to bring the edges together invisibly. Turn the garment inside out, align the torn edges, and stitch small, even stitches perpendicular to the tear. To fix a hem, fold the fabric to the desired length and press it flat and use a blind hem stitch so it's invisible from the outside. Hem tape is the quick alternative, just iron it between the layers to fuse them. In order to replace a zipper, you must remove the old zipper by picking out the stitching with a seam ripper. Then pin the new zipper in place, matching the size and length, and sew it in using a zipper foot, stitching close to the teeth on both sides. In order to patch a hole, you must first cut a patch slightly larger than the hole from matching or contrasting fabric. Iron-on patches are easiest, but for sew-in patches, place it behind the hole and stitch around the edges with a straight or zigzag stitch for durability. You can fix a loose seam by turning the item inside out and restitching along the original seam line using a back stitch, tying off securely at both ends, and then a sewing machine straight stitch works too if the seam is too long. If you need to reattach a snap or hook and eye, position the snap on the fabric where the original stitching holes are, or where it naturally aligns. Then whip stitch through each hole several times to secure it firmly. Broken belt loops and straps can be fixed by tucking the torn ends under and pinning them into place. Then use a box stitch or several passes of a straight stitch to reinforce. This area takes a lot of stress, so extra reinforcement matters. Shoes can be repaired using a strong shoe adhesive like shoe glue when applied to both surfaces. It must be clamped down for at least 24 hours. And heel tips can often be popped off and replaced with a hammer and a replacement tip from a shoe repair kit. If you need to reinforce a fraying edge, trim off the loose threads first and use a simple whip stitch or zigzag stitch along the frayed edge to prevent further unraveling. Fray check liquid seal synthetic edges without any stitching at all. For more detailed tutorials, you can search online for the exact type of repair you need to make. And just a few tools will cover about 90% of what you need to do. A needle and thread, a seam ripper, fabric scissors, straight pins, and iron-on adhesives. If you sew often, a basic machine speeds up the zipper, seam, and patch jobs considerably. Making these simple repairs is incredibly satisfying and also teaches us self-reliance. Thanks for watching.